Hi, I'm MakingStarWars.com, also known as Jason Ward, also known as Captain Stuvie Gutter, also known as
General Striker.
Striker, Save the Cats Foundation member, and Dave the Cats Initiative founder. And today or tonight, I should say,
be a cool cat.
We got
cool cat.
We got Max Zendo, Zendao, Zendao, right? Zendo, like yeah. Doku,
like dough,
like Zandoku.
Yes.
All right, that's your new name.
Yeah,
Max Zendoku.
Ooh.
And Rob.
Max is like, no.
Rob is like,
I pronounce my name right, Striker.
And my sketchy friend. Who else?
How you doing?
Yeah,
I'm just outside waiting for all the presents, man. I heard the presents are here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Let me really quickly before we get into the big spoilery stuff. Let me share my old screen that I should have shared before. But you know what? Honestly, I was making French fries for children's, and that's what I was doing. Here we go. God,
it's Festivus fries this year.
Melon takes me in there, but doesn't put it on. So once again, we're trying to get all of the kitties vaccinated and from this
tested and vaccinated.
Tested and vaccinated. We're losing kitties in the neighborhood. Max is having to deal with a lot right now, and it's really expensive. So we're trying to raise the money to get all the kitties tested and vaccinated. This is Dave the Cats, and all of these cats are Star Wars filmmakers. They're all making kitty Star Wars movies that you'll never see unless you're a cat. But it's really important, and here is how you can help. And this is Max's message. You can read it on slow motion if you want to, but we need $703. And we are a little ways into it now. We're almost halfway, I think. And this is how you can Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and Venmo Max to make it happen. So please help if you can. I know it's Christmas time. It's kind of like when nobody has money, and it can be a little bit difficult. But if everybody just gave $1, we would be there.
That's actually, we are.
Where are we at now?
420.
420. You know what that means? Those kitties are going to get. Those kitties are going to get high.
No.
Architect.
Ashes kitties.
Okay, so what happened today was I fortunately don't have it on my computer. I have the text over here though.
Best not to show it, right?
I don't know.
Probably can't show it.
So okay, I don't know shit about 4chan. Not gonna lie, I know of it. I know the things that have gone on. I know the news stories, and I've never really been to the 4chan machine. And but sometimes I would get sent spoilers from episode 9 that had been posted there. And there would be things like, oh, you know what? That is right. Like that is something. Like whoever released that did know something. And sometimes it was way off with a bunch of other stuff. It was a very mixed bag of stuff. Also, fake stuff comes out of there all the time. Not throwing shade on the whole place, but people post fake stuff on 4chan. It happens. And so I'm going to preface what we're about to get into with, you may hear the actual plot of the majority of Star Wars. Star Wars Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett today. You need me to open the water for you? All right. Here you go. You're welcome. And so you may be spoiled if you stick around for the whole episode. That's the point. You may be. Yeah, it might be a bunch of bullshit. I don't know.
Do you think I should watermark the episode? Like right over me?
Just spoilers.
Okay.
No.
Side control, Rob.
if you're watching the episode based off of anything in the title, you know what you're getting, I assume. But every now and then people will be watching something and it'll just throw a video in after. So that's why I'm trying to preface it and give it a little bit of time for people to back out. Like, I'm gonna drink this cup of coffee and then we're gonna get started. I mean, I'm just gonna have a drink. So
He's gonna drink the whole mug at once. It's burning.
I'd be like, "Rob, here we go, the main antagonist." Okay, so here is
All right, stay. Top, you stay. Move off the topic. Taking too long.
the
Covered that enough.
The point is that why do we take it seriously? Supposedly, it was taken down. Supposedly, the report was removed as a DMCA?
Dimkas.
And it was, and supposedly you can't remove stuff on 4chan. You can't delete your posts, which I've heard mixed things about that. I've heard yes, you can.
Makes all the rules.
And I've heard that no, you can't. So I don't know. So point is, that's the story. So
they could have DMCA'd their own stuff just to make it seem legit too, right? Like,
can you? I don't know.
Sure.
Can you do that? I have no idea. But
you just send it. All you do is send a letter to the provider. So if you send it directly to Reddit and cite the image, and anyone can send a DMCA.
But and then I was talking to I think Bespin Bulletin, and he was like, yeah, that is kind of a thing there. And I was like, but they don't DMCA based off of info. You can't. Like if I'm just walking down the street and I heard the new Superman sucks because in it he fights polar bears, and in the last act it's a polar bear just like Chewbacca. They can't do anything about that. Like that's not even like a legal use of that. At least not in California.
Unless you come across some vindictive lawyer.
Sure,
I've dealt with a couple concerning fan art before. I've dealt with some real vindictive, dickish lawyers.
Right.
Or Disney-esque.
Oh yeah. No, I dealt with one from Hasbro, lawyer in Texas, claiming I was dealing with their trade secrets. And I was like, I'm not a genius, but I definitely know the definition of trade secrets. And there's nothing that's trade secrets about what you're about to release. There's no trade.
Strawberry shortcake's not really filled with strawberries.
Yeah,
shortcake.
Yeah, the Hasbro lawyers are fucking dicks.
He's like, don't you even tell people how we keep the hippos so hungry.
Okay, so let's just kind of break it. We'll just take it slow because there's a lot here, and so. The first thing they claim is the main antagonist is Kira, played by Emilia Clarke. So Kira from Solo: A Star Wars Story, Han Solo's ex-girlfriend, the one who will break your heart and shack up with Darth Maul and that one guy from WandaVision.
Good job.
So does that mean that the ninjas we've been seeing are Crimson Donjas? Like ninjas?
I don't think so. I think those are my opinion is that those are the mayor's guys, and they just happen to be because remember there was the red mine, whatever they called the red miner dudes from Mando season 2. I think they're part of that gang.
Okay,
but it also could be encoded into the visual language of the whole entire series. If this is correct, guys in red equals bad. Right? I mean, it could just be consistently across, bad guys wearing black. Out. Yeah, I mean, all the bad guys are wearing black, and technically, I mean, in terms of the visual language of the underworld, right? So that's one way of looking at it. And then this, and a lot of this stuff checks out, and a couple of things check out on a deeper level, but then there's some stuff that's not in here that makes me go, I don't know, but as we go on, an elderly Cad Bane is her right-hand man. And that also, I feel like, on one hand, number one, it has been reported. I don't remember who originally reported it, but it's been reported that Cad Bane is a part of the series. And so, once again, if this is fake, they could be using things from legitimate reports to build this up. Right. But that organization makes a lot of sense. Do I know you? Okay. So Cad Bane is played by one of Mando's stuntmen, but is voiced by Corey Burton. Looks cool in live action. And that I once again buy that, you'd have the voice of Cad be the voice of Cad. I also buy the use. Don't do that, please, because you're shaking the mic. I also buy the use of Cad Bane in the sense that he's a Sergio Leone inspired Lee Van Cleef kind of character that somebody like Robert Rodriguez would naturally gravitate towards using. If he was going to go into the lexicon of Star Wars characters to pull from to do his space western, Cad seems like a no-brainer. And I will say, if this is fake, the idea of teaming up Kira with Cad Bane is not a bad idea.
Right.
The dude
probably should have happened already in the comics.
Well, and the fact that it hasn't might be because it's here, right? And the people who were doing that War of the Bounty Hunters stuff did say this is sort of a prelude to it, and it does have Kira in it and Boba Fett. So,
also, if this is true, then that would check out with Robert Rodriguez saying that anything from the second half of the first episode would spoil everything.
Yeah, no penny, no. Thank you. You can't play guitar on the live stream unless you're going to two-hand tap Eddie Van Halen style like I taught you. Thank you. The duo are the big bads of the series. So they will be the people who continually go through. Now, if we just stop right there, when you watch Solo a Star Wars story today, and who's the guy who plays Vision? The actor,
Chester Copperpot.
Chester Copperpot from what I'm trying to say is, on one hand, there you kind of get like this vibe like, oh, she wouldn't be in it, but of course she would be in it. I mean, it does make sense. I mean, the fact that they keep it a secret is more on that one. Paul Bettany, thank you, Thanera. I appreciate the help. I have no recall at this time of night, especially on a live stream. So
could have been Chester Copperpot.
It could have been Chester Copperpot, but unfortunately, that kid from the Goonies went to prison for murdering him. Once they took all the forensic evidence and found it in the cave, they figured the kid from Goonies had to have murdered him.
Short round?
Yeah, no, but anyways, when you after WandaVision, you watch all of a Star Wars story, you're like, oh, it's Vision. I mean, before that, I didn't see it. I didn't see Vision. Now I just see Vision constantly, even though that's a CGI version of him the entire time, from what I understand. But anyways, Emilia Clarke, she's been doing a couple of things, but it hasn't really been on in a big major thing that I know of, anyways. So, and then we don't really know what the parameters of the role is. She might have like kind of an intro, and it might cut back to her. It might have been something that they were able to film intermittently, but also during the height of the pandemic when they were filming this series. Easier than ever, I think, to hide that, because it's not like she would be going to get coffee and somebody's going to come, for instance, and tip me off that she's at the coffee place down there in El Segundo. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. You know what I mean? That happens. Like, that's not going to happen.
Got the discrepancy in pay was so bad on Game of Thrones. Now she's a barista. Checks out.
Yeah, it checks out.
Hollywood.
So, anyways, all right, the duo of Boba goes around uniting the Mad Max-esque gangs and minor syndicates who are at each other's throats after Jabba's demise. Now, that one right there, I mean, we have pretty much seen as much from the ads, I would say. That is the vibe that we're getting. So that one's hard to argue with. I guess you could have 5 years of turmoil, but that's a long time for things not to have settled out, I think. But whatever, we'll go with it for the sake of the series.
I think Meat heard that Rob likes him because he is crawling up on my table. He never does that.
He's like, you guys help me get my test and help me get vaccinated. Ha!
Uncle Meeps wants to hear the scoops.
Paul Catney is his new name. The Paul Bettany of cats. Okay. So anyways, Crimson Dawn at the same time are trying to gain a foothold on Tatooine. why that place sucks, but I guess
Would explain the Crimson Dawn push in the comics.
yeah, it would. I mean, I just hope that if this is true, she's not like, await the dawn, or whatever the fuck they kept doing in the comic book constantly.
Look, everything we're hearing so far isn't like. So what I would say is, typically when fans start to speculate, they'll tie it to the last thing they saw. Like this is tied to Mando, and it's really tied to like Bo-Katan and something or other, and a guy from episode whatever in the Mando. They don't tend to ignore the last 2 seasons of the thing they saw, and then bring up characters from a movie from 2 years ago, and then go here, like that's. So I go, all right, this sounds way more legit than your typical, fan speculation.
Yeah,
Bo-Katan Peninsula.
what was that, Max?
Bo-Katan Peninsula.
So yeah, I would say that if this is if this is fake, it's pretty reserved so far.
Yeah,
it doesn't really shit the bed, and I see a lot of fakes, throughout the years, and I did shoot this over to a source of mine, but we didn't have enough time, so I might be able to shoot it down tomorrow or prop it up, whichever happens to be. But I was hoping to have it. I didn't go right into the show because I was hoping to have verification, but I was like, well, either way, we'll do it at 8 and we'll hang out and have a good time and we'll have confirmation, or we won't, but we don't. So anyways, Crimson Dawn at the same time are trying to get a foothold on Tatooine. They view Boba as a threat and send various bounty hunters after him, including Black Chrysanthemum, the Wookie. And I reported about this. I think I broke it on Star Wars Santa Show the first time. I saw a Black Wookie being made for the show. I've seen him.
You did?
Yeah. So that's something where I can say, okay, there we go. There is a Wookiee in the show.
That's a very odd thing for a fan to speculate about.
Yeah. Once again, and not trying to say this if this was fake or real, this person even knows who I am, but I did go on YouTube and say that that's a thing for what it's worth. So
yeah, I mean, yeah.
So if it's, what I mean, so they could have just made a laundry list of things that they know and put it together. But once again, I'm not trying to throw shade on it. I'm just evaluating it. I'll leave that up to you guys in the chat. Can tell me what you guys think as we go on, whether you're buying it or you're not. So anyways, Black gives Boba a brutal beatdown similar to the Mudhorn battering Din in season 1 of The Mandalorian. And I'm just going to throw it out there that okay, but maybe the fight between Chewbacca and Han might be a better kind of one. I don't know, thing to make. I mean, he does kind of beat the shit out of him and throw him around, but yeah. But anyways, sounds cool, I guess. Boba gives it his all through and gains Black's respect, because that's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
Beating the shit out of each other and getting respect.
I'm on the streets doing what I do for respect.
They live.
I mean, do you guys ever see when Dan Aykroyd was with NWA in the Nothing But Trouble video? Respect.
I have.
That's what it was about.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
When it was still called Vulcanvania.
What's it called? All Around the World? What's the song? All Around the World?
The movie was originally called like something to like Vulcanvania. Yeah, Vulcanvania, like the name of the town. Yeah. I know, it's crazy. Hats off Entertainment has a great write-up on that movie if you guys are ever interested.
I think we might have talked about that on the first time you were on the show, maybe. Or at least one of the first times you were ever on the show. We talked about Nothing But Trouble, and I was like, this guy needs to stay. Because if this guy knows nothing but trouble, this is my people's. He's one of us.
But that episode will give you insight. Like whenever you watch a movie, if you like it, you're like, something doesn't click together. That episode of Hats Off Entertainment, the Nothing But Trouble, ties it all together. So like, it makes total sense now.
All right, so Boba gives it his all, though, and gains Black's respect. Various other bounty hunters go after Boba, but he defeats them all. And now, right now, I'm just going to pause for a second and be very clear. This doesn't mention Maz Kanata's place. And some leakers have said that Maz Kanata's place is in the series. And I think that is this leaker's out. Is various other bounty hunters go after Boba and he defeats them all. That could happen across the fucking galaxy. That could happen anywhere. There could be a whole. I mean, just like what it's saying there is that it's so vague that is the out. If the leaker is is
And
fake,
they could probably just not care about Maz Kanata's castle enough to mention it.
Yeah, that's a big one though. If you're going to bring in Lupita Nyongo and how she ties in, that's something that fans would like to know, and I would like to know. And yeah, it's just one of those ones where, and then you're not going to believe it, but he goes to Maz Kanata's castle, and once again, maybe the leakers are incorrect. Like I said, I think I saw Maz Kanata's castle for Cassian.
Or they haven't watched it. They got early synopsis. You know what I mean? They got like plot like scriptments. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I don't
early.
know. So that stuff. Right. That stuff. I've never seen that stuff get out, but anything's possible, right? I mean,
Christmas, someone got laid off.
Yeah, sure.
Sad to say.
Various other bounty hunters go after Boba, but he defeats them all. Boba, when he visits one of the cities, is approached by a street girl. He views her like himself when he was young and takes her somewhat under his wing as a protege. Yes, I know folks will moan at this, but the actress is really good. She's an important catalyst for later. And I'm drawing a blank, chat. What is the girl's name that was on the speeder bike today? There was the two actors from the Illuminati report today. And it was like Scad and Shufflebutt or some shit like that. Scad was one, I think, and the other one had another name that was like
Poopy Pants,
like Grinch Tits or something like. I don't remember what it was. It was something weird, and so it might be her. But once again, it's me working for this and not this working for me. You know what I mean? Junkbox right now is like, this sounds fake as fuck, but Buckshot. I mean, no wait. What's going on here? Buckshot saying nothing but trouble has Tupac in it. That's right. He doesn't do anything, but in the music video, he has a whole couple bars where he gets to show you, I'm Tupac. I'm coming on the scene. I'll fucking shoot Biggie if I have to. So, anyways,
all around the world, same.
Yeah, and then it has those really racist moments where they're like pretending to be Chinese and shit, like, and they're pretending to be like Native Americans. It's like, oh, that doesn't hold up.
You can't do that shit anymore.
Oh, they even dress up like they're Jewish.
It's in the music video. It's not in the movie.
It's in the music video.
Just want to be very specific to this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, nothing but trouble has no problems with the movie whatsoever. It was very forward for its time.
There was at least no Asian stereotypes. At least.
I'm sure if we watch it, we could probably find one. Anyways, yeah, the idea that Boba takes a protege, that's kind of unexpected, and would
her
definitely. What was that?
They said her name is Fennec Shan.
Fennec Shan, yeah, no, Fennec Shan has already got her shit down. You know what I mean? I mean, trust me, I'm Stryker. I know. And anyways, that may tie into that sounds like the Godfather Part 3 a little bit. Just gonna throw that out there. Godfather Part 3, not the Godfather.
He said the Godfather. Didn't say which one.
Didn't say which one, and that's Godfather Part 3. Fucking Robert Rodriguez. Oh, it's Godfather Part 3 though.
Wait, and then at the very end, Boba's standing in front of the Sarlacc pit and it pulls him back in. He goes, "Oh, every time they pull me,"
yeah,
and it eats just like in The Godfather.
And for what it's worth, in the initial Cyberflames, Batman, where's the leak? Where is it? In the initial never mind. I'm gonna go on to the next part. This is the part where I go this is where it starts to feel a little bit more fanny to me. Moochie from the Bad Batch is in the show. And for the record, if you don't remember, Moochie was the Rancor that the Bad Batch saves, I guess. And then, but Bib owned her and mistreated her. Boba tames her and uses her as a mount in an episode. And that right there is literally just telling us the Star Wars Newsnet report. Boba Fett uses it as a mount in an episode. Like, that's where I'm a little bit like, is there more context? Later, frees her and lets her go on her own way. You are Rancor, and I want you to know you have your freedom. The freedom Shmi Skywalker got when she married Klieg Laws. Go find your Klieg, doll. Go find your
I know you're goofing, but I'm going to be honest. Based on the clip we've seen today, that's better acting than what I've seen come out of the show. I'm not even kidding. Like,
Could I be Boba Fett's acting coach?
I wish you couldn't, but they're not convincing me otherwise at this point.
10, baby. I just need you to give it some more D. Bradley Baker, bud. Come on.
I watched it again after the show.
How would the DVD make it, dude? Come on. He's like, all right, I can do this. So Beba.
Wait, Max, hold on. Max, you watched it again. What did you think?
The same.
Boba tames her and uses her as a mount in an episode. It sounds kind of hot when you put it like that. Later, frees her and lets her go on her own way. So here's where it gets kind of fun, but once again, very fan servicey. And this might just be the fan servicey part of the episodes. Rex and Echo show up in episode 5. So Rex and Echo. Rex, old Captain Rex, and Echo, who's the more machine than man, but he's still pretty cool guy. Kind of like Lobot, the Boba Fett Lobot, as they like to call him, played by Tamura Morrison, both of them. He looks awesome. Rex has his indoor uniform and the Bad Batch cloak poncho thing. Echo looks good too. His skin tone is mostly normalized. He has a new hand. Despite their age, they both still got stamina. Rex's reasons for seeking Boba aren't made clear, as they're interrupted by more bounty hunters led by Bosk when they meet. I'm going to stop that right there and say that's really confusing. So, hi, we're 2 clones from another cartoon series that you never watch because you only watch live action stuff. Oh no, bounty hunter! It's like from the way it's
that's par for the course when Ahsoka shows up in episode 2. My wife had no idea, and they didn't explain it very well who she was.
Yeah,
so,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. So I can tell you from like someone who had no idea who Ahsoka was. My wife was like, "What was going on? That's something that you know." Yeah, okay, you'll explain it to me later.
But they look just like him. And that's what makes it weirder than Ahsoka. Like, okay, traveling Ronin Jedi person, fascinating, intrigue. But then these other 2 guys just show up who look like Boba Fett. I feel like that would need a little bit more. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it's not explaining every episode. This is like the cliff notes. You know,
it is. And
so I'm sure Fennec's like, so what's up with all the clones?
but I'm trying to give it its the equal amounts suspicion and intrigue. Like I said, if it didn't have any, if I was just entirely,
please, go ahead.
If I was entirely suspicious, we wouldn't be doing this at all. I just wouldn't even be bothered. You know what I mean? Right. I think there's a chance. That's why we're doing it.
Right.
So but he has his cloak poncho thing. Echo looks good. His skin tone is mostly normalized. He has a new hand. Despite their age, both still got stamina. Rex's reasons for seeking Boba aren't made clear, as they're interrupted by more bounty hunters led by Bosk when they meet. This is
I like to see how Bosk got wealthy by Rise of Skywalker, right? So he made all of his money.
Boba and Bosk fight, but Bosk compliments him for his achievements thus far in uniting the underworld, and it's nothing personal. So I do hope this isn't a lot of like, you know what? There's no resolution. But I respect you. Nobody gets to die because everybody has to. We got to keep making shirts and TV shows and toys. But I respect you, Boba. You know, and it's gonna get kind of dumb. I Like if you're gonna put Bosk in it, slit his fucking throat, eat his guts.
What I want to know is, does Bosk actually wear shoes? But he didn't in Empire because he just wanted to see if he can get away with it because he was a lizard and he always wanted to not wear shoes on the Star Destroyer. He's like, I bet you use with there. I bet you I can not wear shoes, and Vader wouldn't fucking know because I'm a lizard.
Rumor is Vader can't see anything downstairs, and they do that because when he realizes his dick got burnt off, he starts killing people. So they made the suit not really do that, and Boss is like, I think I could get away with it. Or he might have just started, dating a girl that was really holistic and all about herbs. And Bosk is like, oh God, her name is probably like Sweet Tree Starfire or some shit like that. And he's just like trying to impress her. And he's like, yeah, a Bosk never wears shoes. Boss doesn't wear shoes. Bosk like his feet on the earth, on the ground. Bosk is like you. And
do you think his feet smell?
Oh yeah, they smell like shit. He steps in.
Smell like
shit.
NF feet.
He doesn't wear shoes.
It's true.
Like Jar Jar Binks steps in.
He's
shit.
got cryptos.
Yeah, true.
What?
All right. So
it's a non-location fungal disease.
Okay, so Boba spares Boss. So Boba, Rex, and Echo and Fennec mop the floor with the bounty hunters. So that sounds fun though. A bunch of Rex, Echo, Fennec, Boba fighting all these bounty hunters. And then Boba spares.
I gotta say, hold on. I gotta say, if Tamura is playing 3 different characters, man, I just hope there's some more range in the acting. Otherwise, it's like, is not just one, but 3 of them. Like, I want my Kevin Smith face.
Boba spares Bosk, and then Bosk has a drink with Boba. All right, you win. Let's get a beer.
Is it going to be a CGI or a better puppet, or is the water just going to fall out the size of Bosk's mouth?
I gotta say, but maybe Bosk is just a fucking hippie dude wearing no shoes. All right, let's just call it a truce.
And let me ask you this: would you prefer Bosk to look like he did in Empire, or do you think that they're going to enhance him?
They have to enhance him. I think they have to enhance him. I think if he looks how he look, if the amount of work and stuff that went into the Empire version is literally just to stand there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like even like the arms and stuff, it looks really dopey. When you actually truly give it a good look, it wouldn't fly by today's standards. And in fact, I'm thinking, and if kind of hoping almost, that we start to look back at the Empire Strikes Back, them in the background, and being like, oh God, they look terrible compared to what we're used to now. Because like that's why Bosk, his hands are like just like these like little flipper things. They're kind of like a flipper baby kind of dude looking thing, And what they wrote into the novels and stuff now and the guides is that when a Trandoshan can get its arms and legs cut off and they grow back. Yeah. And so when we see him in Empire Strikes Back, he's midway through growing his hands back. Okay. Is like the idea. And that's how they just, because you really can't do anything with that. You know what I mean? It's like Lobster Man at best. So, yeah.
Do we have a Lobster Man character?
We do. I believe in Solo, a Star Wars story, there was one.
Okay.
Remember, didn't Denny's have him involved with something?
Therm Scissor Punch, right?
Yeah, Scissor Punch. Good work, Max. Okay. Yeah, Scissor Punch. Don't look that up on the internet. I think you'll get something you don't want to see. Well, maybe you do. Anyways, Boba spares Bosk, and then he has to drink with Boba, Shannon, and the clones. Rex says he'll be in contact with Boba again once Boba deals with the issues he currently has. Rex and Boba leave. So, on one hand, if that's accurate, that could be inferring that we're going to have Boba in the Ahsoka series. Because you would think Rex would eventually be a part of whatever Ahsoka's up to, considering that's her dad. That is her Star Wars dad, right? I think we could agree on that probably.
Yeah.
And then, again, once he deals with the issues he currently has, Rex and Boba leave. And then after Boba unites the gangs and various hunters failed to kill him and Chand, Kira finally allows Bane to try at Boba again. So Cad Bane's like, all right, man, I'm going to put a toothpick in my mouth and go shoot this fool in the face. So Bane scouts the area and notices Boba's affection for the girl mentioned earlier. Boba is starting to view her like a daughter. So it's kind of the way it's like shown in here. It's just like, okay. But once again, this is 3 paragraphs for 7 episodes, which also makes it suspect to some degree. But let's see what happens. Bane kidnaps her and contacts Boba, who is shocked Bane is not dead. Wouldn't it be funny if it was Cammy? Bane and Boba duel it out one last time. Boba wins. Cad Bane finally hits the bucket. The girl is okay and comes to live with Boba and Fennec.
Kicks.
She's like, baby Ruth.
It's kicks the bucket, Biff. Not you, the person who wrote this.
Screen door on a battleship. All right. She decides to hold. Okay, so Kira is still out there, however, and isn't dealt with. She decides to hold off on further advances on Tatooine after Bane's death. Rex once again arrives. This time, Echo is not with him. He's with Din, the Mandalorian. Din tells him that they are going to attempt to take back Mandalore, and Din wants him by his side. Continued in Mandalorian season 3. So, yeah, I think that adds up to a lot of degrees. I think that makes a lot of sense. So, pardon me.
No Mace, huh?
Yeah, no Mace, but
interesting.
No, nobody was saying that it's going to happen this season.
Someone in the chat was really adamant about it. Like,
I
guess my bad. I read it wrong. I read that.
We think it's going to happen. We just aren't there yet. And
I'm glad. I'm glad that we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not. I think that's where it kind of ends up. And so I'm like I don't know. I don't know what to think. You know what I mean?
Like halvesies, like kind of halvesies, maybe. Like halvesies, like yeah, like a little bit, but not really.
Yeah, it's like there's so much of the information is so like light, and usually there's like something that a leaker has gravitated towards that they really loved. I'm not saying this across the board, but usually there's something like, oh man, IG-11, like there's just this part with a little baby, and it's just like amazing. Like IG-11 is going to be such a cool, like there's usually something. And I'm not trying to teach people how to leak fake stuff or anything like that, but there's usually like some detail that is so left field and you couldn't have guessed. And there's nothing in this that you couldn't have guessed. Like I think for the most part, all of this you could have guessed it. And so, but that could speak to the originality of the show, to the weak structure of the show, that it doesn't really have anything to offer other than what's kind of just sitting out in front of it. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. So I go back and forth on it, Before I forget, and look, I would like to know what the chat has to thinks about this. Does the chat buy it? Does the chat not buy it? I think you guys are usually a pretty good detector of bullshit to some degree. And like I said, on this one, I haven't been able to vet anything or any of it, and it has so many aspects of it that are real that I could ask. Some sources who I could ask may go, a lot of that does check out, but I don't know, because it's so on the line. It's so reserved. If it's fake, give it credit for holding back.
Do you think that, I don't know, anything from the Clone Wars or the Bad Batch would be shoehorned? Would you feel that it's shoehorned, or that it would make sense that they put it in?
I don't know. I do think it's definitely possible, and I think that it on one hand, Ahsoka teaches them that it'll work, that people will go very, very crazy about something that they saw in a cartoon in live action.
Uh-huh.
And this isn't a big one, but it also like other leakers too, multiple ones have said that Baby Yoda was in it. And this also doesn't solve that whatsoever, unless he shows up with Din Djarin and Baby Yoda sitting on his shoulder. Like,
unless when he sees the girl and he's reminded, he also thinks of the puppet, right? On some level,
the cuts. It's like,
yeah. Look, you laugh, but they do it. They do that sometimes,
I don't know, man. That one's pretty funny. If I imagine like that, he's like, "Oh, I remember when there was that little Baby Yoda and that other little Mando, and I want my own little Baby Yoda myself." And then it would be. That's all I got heard.
Given the scene I've seen today, that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, anything is possible. Oh, before I forget, something I wanted to show you guys, and maybe it will be a source of speculation. It shouldn't be, but it might. I know what this is going to have people ask, and this is a crew shirt from ObiWan Kenobi that I didn't get a chance to post until now, and here we go right here. And is it just a cool design, or does ObiWan Kenobi get a cool ass black hood? Who knows? But this is for the Stagecraft crew. So if anybody was curious that they were using Stagecraft, they are. They did film a lot of it on location and down in El Segundo. But this right here, shows it. Shows some kind of design here. But there you go. It's pretty fun, right? A little bit of Kenobi stuff, but
interesting.
throw it in there. Yeah.
What do you think, Rob?
Let me ask you guys this though. So if this is real, do you think this will be a satisfying story?
What story? It's got Obi-Wan and Vader in it? Yeah.
No, not that was a side thing. I'm talking about Boba Fett.
Oh.
The
okay.
Boba Fett. Sorry.
Like, yeah, okay.
I just didn't want to forget.
Man, look, we've been wondering who pitched this series, and we've believed Filoni's kind of behind it. This just seems like a way to put more of the cartoon stuff, in live action, wrapped around characters you already know. And so this actually makes more sense to me than them saying we're going to go and do like a homage to another movie using our characters.
Yeah.
Because I've been saying, what is the family aspect? If the family aspect is the other clones, his other, right, Rex and Echo, and then that is a family aspect, like there is something there, because The Godfather is about a family, not a fake one, an actual family.
Oh, okay. Okay. I understand that. No.
Yeah.
Let me try to change. Let me get rid of that and try to put us into a better place so we could deal with some of the comments. Maybe that's okay. Sorry.
God, it's really close.
Yeah, I hate this setup.
I'll just go like this. That's fine.
Sorry. Yeah. So.
Fennec Sham mode.
Okay, so Ovad Jazz, that's what I'm going to call you today. If they got Emilia Clarke back, it would be a massive, massive surprise, considering she's openly said she put off work for most of 2020 to vacation, travel, and focus on independent work and charity. Yeah, but she could have done all of those things and still done this. And judging by what's in here, it sounds like shit about a day's worth of filming based off of this. I'm not saying that's what it really amounts to, but based off of this thing right here, she's, that Boba Fett is really messing up Tatooine. Let's send the boys out. And then another scene, okay, Cad, go get them. And then another scene of, well, we're going to leave Tatooine alone because this guy is serious business. It doesn't sound like it's a very in-depth role. Like she even goes to Tatooine and deals with them. So it literally could have been done probably in a few days. That's my guess. Doesn't it sound like it to you guys?
I don't know. Sorry, in the comics, is she made to be like an asshole, or is she like cool?
Yeah, and no, she's a huge asshole in the comics. She's like there's no, not that, she was pretty much, she screws Solo over and Solo a Star Wars story, but you kind of get this like impression that she kind of has still has like a heart, and that she thinks he's so good that he won't make it.
I think she did it to protect him, though.
Probably.
I don't think she wanted to, but she did it to protect him. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah, she tells Infant's Nest like he's gonna help you, like before she leaves them. She's like I know this guy. He's a good dope, and he's gonna help you. And then she takes off to go do what she does. But when we see her in the comic books, she just seemed like she was just a bad guy. I didn't really like her depiction in the comic at all.
I don't think I didn't read it, but just hearing Meg's like reviews and stuff like that, I don't think I liked it very much.
Yeah, it didn't work for me very much, and it sounds in line with this report. Junkbox says, so is Boba going to have all these bounty hunters after him, and Boba kills none of them, but chooses to let them live because respect? Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I get the impression that what they're going to do is they're going to create a bunch of bounty, if this is accurate, a bunch of bounty hunter fodder, just like the guys we've seen in previous episodes of Mandalorian, but all of the
I watched WWF. I know how this works.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The guys with normal names enter the ring to fight Undertaker, and you're like, gee, wonder who's winning this match.
Yeah. If you see a bounty hunter and his name is Banjo, he's probably going to die. Banjo's not going to
His first name is Ban. His last name is Joe. Because it's Star Wars. No,
Banjo. Yeah.
Or Blanca.
Or you have like a middle name, like would it be like J-I with the dash? It'll be like Banji Joe. Oh, Banjo. Okay. So and then once again, the retaking of Mandalore makes a lot of sense from the narrative standpoint, and could definitely make for a great endgame that ties all of that together. And that lines up with the reports that I've had recently where I talked about the 75 Mandalorians that are going to be in the episode.
Oh, God.
For season 3.
Sorry.
Also, I would say is
my cat just got out of the litter box and just jumped on me. That was me, by the way.
That's what you get for not making me a lasagna, Max.
No,
he just got some litter on.
Dude, you shouldn't have said that, because now I gotta talk about it. I watched Garfield Christmas today with the kids, dude, and Garfield, John's grandma, dude, she's stacked.
Yeah,
dude, and she's got some lips on her too. And I'm just saying, I kind of think. And she like rides motorcycles and she parties. So I want a prequel to Garfield with John's grandma. So throw that out there.
Yeah, it's a Gilfield Christmas. Gilfield.
And I'm a shill. Just kidding.
I think it's believable, but didn't Bib really like Moochie? I don't know. I get the feeling Bib's just a piece of trash. So I don't know. If Bib could treat anything well.
And he has really bad teeth too.
That's true. Yeah. Hawks holocrons, with the track record of leaks, I kind of believe some of this could leak. It's anything is possible. There's so many ways that things could leak.
We're also like a week and a half till now. So within the 2-week mark, this is when things get like sound mixing and it goes through a lot more hands, right?
Yeah,
maybe the clip that they showed today wasn't a fair clip to really show.
Oh no, that's a fair clip.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm gonna say that it like usually the way that things have gone in the past, the way that leaks usually move, they will come out all well before as the process is happening, and they could be sat on sometimes for reasons. This doesn't feel like that. My guess is if this is real, they showed a bunch of stuff to a bunch of Disney assholes. One of the Disney assholes told somebody, and then that somebody put it on 4chan. That's most likely what happened here. Whenever your leaks are through editorial, sound, all these different kinds of things, you just hear these. There's these certain things that pop
Plus, they don't
up.
want to lose their job.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
But
I was just trying to say, like, we're at the point now where it would pass through different hands. Like, could have been a publicist got to see the episodes for one of the actors and talk shit to
yeah,
or had a bunch of friends over to watch it in their office or something. I mean, you never know,
shit happens. Yeah. Adrian says, what I find very strange is the Boba Bosk run in. Last time they met, Boba leaves Bosk for dead on an ice planet, right? That's the last thing that I read, and I believe you're correct. But I will say that if that was created after this to interface with it, and it doesn't mean that Marvel did a good job. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the way that things interface, sometimes it's not so well done. But one of the things to remember is that, so I don't know if Trevorrow introduced this to Star Wars, but remember in the script, we learned that for episode 9 that he did, that Bosk is like this, like almost, he has like a lodge, like a hunting lodge, and he's like a Viking king. Either he was given that from Lucasfilm, like this is what he is now, and they included it into that script, but that's essentially what he becomes. And so Bosk and Boba are kind of mirrors of each other to some extent in that way. And since there's not really a lot going on for Bosk, I would imagine that's that backstory or something like it is what exists today. And so that would make sense, I think, and it would allow them to be equals in some way. But also, I hate the idea of, oh, I just respect you. God damn it. I don't like what you're doing, but I respect you. And that's just so fucking stupid. I mean, at the end of the day, if that's where it goes, that is really stupid. And then what else we got? We got Michael saying the leak is all very broad strokes, which makes it difficult to really vibe. But everything mentioned seems plausible. Usually fake leaks have some super fan service junk baked in the middle of it. That's totally true. That's why I was like, see, like what it has going for it is that it doesn't do that necessarily. The clones showing up or a little bit of that, but also Lucasfilm does that itself. So that's where I don't necessarily discount it. But you usually, but also it doesn't have something so left field that I'm like, I guess maybe the girl is that left field thing. Maybe the girl who becomes like Boba's daughter is the left field piece of information that
that's can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, just checking because I hit the button. But that's what I was saying. Like, if it were typical fan stuff and they were like, "Oh, Boba gets a protege," it would have been Boba finds Omega and then makes him, and then it's about this. She doesn't want to be Boba. That's actually where I could get the Godfather connection. Mm-hmm. You know, where if Omega was like Michael, she's like, "I don't want to be you," you know, which would be more like a season 2 thing, but I could see that, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but the problem that you run into is that like she's 60 years old now or whatever. I'm not sure actually how old they're like supposed to be. I guess Boba's supposed to be younger.
She doesn't age at all. She's like, I got the cloning no age.
Her name is her real name is Omega Mu.
Yeah, I guess we're actually not that far out. Never mind. I rolled it back. The actor's that age, but I don't think Boba's supposed to be that age. It's supposed to be like probably 40s. I wonder if Shizor and the Pikes will show up also. Yeah, I would think that the Pikes would be kind of totally possible for this, but you never know. Lucasfilm, here's money for 6 minutes of dialogue. Yeah. Or also maybe is under contract from Solo for appearances. That's the one thing that I used to hear is that actors were signed for appearances. They signed a contract that paid them a lot of money. And now you're going to be Poe Dameron for 14 appearances. You're going to be Rey for 17 appearances. And that's how it would go. So when Emilia Clarke signed, she had more shit going on than like a Daisy Ridley, for instance. So she may not have signed for a bunch of appearances, but she probably signed for multiple, I would imagine. That's just a guess. But
Let's ask her.
yeah, let's ask her. Who's to say Clark didn't film elements during Solo? Was Book of Boba in early development back then? Ooh, I'm going to say too troubled and too early, honestly. Book of Boba would have been the Boba Fett film had Solo, a Star Wars story, had been more successful. We would have had a Boba Fett film, Boba Fett, a Star Wars story. Would have been a completely different movie. But the back then I was hearing that the idea was that Solo and Boba would take place about the same time. And that if there would be a lot of interfacing between Solo, a Star Wars story, and Boba Fett, a Star Wars story. And obviously that would have been the Josh Trank one. Supposedly not very much was used or carried over. But there is always a chance that Kira was going to be the main villain of the Josh Trank one. There's always a chance that if that was, because that is a real possibility if this is accurate.
Uh-huh.
But
Wow.
once again, that's just speculation. I don't know anything about that. But just give me an R-rated Mando season or hard PG-13. Grogu.
I agree,
like,
but they're not gonna do it. You know?
he's like, Grogu, today you are 14, but this is the Wild West, so I must take you to the brothel where you become a man. It's like Deadwood or something, you know?
It's old ass size noodles, you know, like
Never been with a little green
man up,
Oh
kid.
my God.
Career hasn't worked out, so she's
Are you a boy Yoda or a toy Yoda?
Oh.
I don't.
Can you imagine an old